If you could follow along so far, well, amazing work, because we have a working Chrome extension that does all functionalities that we wanted it to do. But when a new user starts to use it, it's always a good practice to give them some kind of guidance. So that's exactly what we're going to do. And to achieve that, we can listen to some of the web extension's lifecycle events. We can listen to onInstalled, which can be installed or updated, but even when the Chrome browser is updated. We can listen to startup when the browser starts, but we could also connect to an event called onUpdateAvailable, which is fired when there's a newer version of our extension available in the web store. And although it's technically not possible to execute code if a user uninstalls our application, but we can still ask for feedback, and I will show you how to do it at the end of this lesson. I want to show a simple step-by-step instruction to our users when they first start using our extension, and I will use the onInstalled.addListener. But first, let's add some changes to our notes page. You could create a totally new page, that would be okay, but we already had notes, so I will just adjust this. I head over to the index.html. And next to notes grid and no notes, I paste another section, which is basically a welcome section with some instructions. You can notice that I have this pin explanation.png, that is a picture that I created before. So let's copy it over to our project. Let's refresh our notes page. As you can see, it's not showing up still. And that is because in my index.html I have display none, so let's remove it just for the testing purposes. Okay, here it is. As you can see, there are no styles applied, it looks quite ugly, so let's fix that by pasting some styles that I previously created, which I can just do if I come to the notes/styles and I just updated our styles. And you can see it looks so much nicer. Now we are still showing it parallel with the other message, so let's put back the display none. And let's head back to our main JavaScript code to make some adjustments. So what I plan to do is to have this page showing this introduction message for the first time. And to achieve that, I want to pass a query parameter in the URL. And if that's present, then instead of showing the notes or no notes, I would show the welcome message. Let's start by adding a reference to our welcome element. For which I had an ID welcome. And on top of the init function, let's detect if we have the welcome query parameter, and if we do so, let's show the welcome element. Let's see, URL params equal new URL search params from the document.location.search or window location.search, and then let's see if it contains the welcome. Is welcome equals URL params get welcome. Let's say if it's true. If it's welcome, then we know that this is a welcome page because we have welcome in the URL. Then we want to show the welcome element. It's a string. You see, it's underlining it because it doesn't know if the welcome element exists, but we are sure, so I can just do the same thing as I did before and add the exclamation point there. And if it's a welcome element, then we want to hide the no notes, and just in case, we also want to hide the nodes grid, although the nodes grid is empty because we just installed the extension, so there shouldn't be any note yet. Nodes grid style display equals none. That should be it. Now we have the no nodes found, but if I add a new parameter here, welcome equals true. then you can see that we are seeing the welcome message with some brief step-by-step guide on how to use our extension. The only thing left to do is to listen to the onInstalled event and open this tab. And to do that, I will head over to the background scripts and I will set up a new listener, browser.runtime.onInstalled.addListener. And this is also getting a function with one attribute, which is details, which contains some information about the installation or whether it was an update, a new install, a browser update. So let's check it. Details.reason equals, as you can see, my code editor already gives me the options. So in our case, we care about install. So here comes a tricky part, because now we're in our background script and we want to open the notes page with the welcome message in a new tab. So how to do it? Well, we will use the tabs API. Already have the permission to do so. So let's work with that. We use browser.tabs.create and we can pass some properties, and one of them is what should be the URL, which we can generate with the getURL method as we did from the pop-up. Browser.runtime.getURL, and the parameter of the path is /nodes.html ? Welcome equals true. There we go. Now, whenever the install event happens, we will open a new tab with the welcome. How can we test it? Well, it's super easy, because I just stop our dev script and I start again. This will fire the installed event, and as you can see, immediately this new tab opened up and it has the welcome message. And in the URL bar, you can see the welcome equals true part as well. Now, whenever a new user installs our extension, we can guide them through the most important steps. And lastly, let's talk about what happens when the extension gets uninstalled. As I mentioned at the beginning of this lesson, we can listen to this event, but we can't execute any code because our extension is already gone from the user's computer. So what to do? Well, if you go to the Chrome extension reference and search for feedback on uninstall, you can find this code which explains that on uninstall, the browser should open a URL. This URL can be defined by you, and it can be used to ask feedback from the users once they uninstall the extension. With this, we covered the full circle of the lifecycle of a Chrome extension. And not only did we build a fully functional Chrome extension, but it's also super user-friendly now. However, before I press publish, I want to clean up our codebase a little bit.